This week on Jersey Matters, the budget deadline is fast approaching. We'll talk with a state senator in the thick of negotiations. Also in Trenton, there's a proposal to ban plastic bags in the state. We'll fill you in on the details. And the boxer who was the inspiration for Rocky is now fighting for children. But first, our interview with Democratic State Senator Vin Gopal.
It is a fascinating time to be in Trenton right now, and here to talk about it is Senator Vin Gopal, recently elected senator, a Democrat from mostly Monmouth County, right?
All Monmouth County, yes.
All Monmouth County, yes. Okay. I want to start with this alleged feud between the Senate president and the governor. It's important right now, it's important for everything, but it's important right now, especially as we lead up to this budget. How does it feel to be a senator right now when you have the Senate president and the governor not getting along?
I think this is healthy, and it shows that Democratic leaders and elected officials have sincere policy differences. There's been a lot that we've agreed on when it comes to women's health care funding, pay equity, a lot of issues that everyone's been on the same side, but there's some sincere differences, as I have differences with both my leadership in the Senate and with the governor's office, and I think that's healthy for the state, that it's not one party just isn't a rubber stamp. Well,
the most important thing right now is the budget. And we know that Governor Murphy wants a millionaire's tax, and he wants legalized marijuana, and he wants some other taxes. And Senator Sweeney says he's going to give him a budget. He's not necessarily going to get all those things. And the governor says, if I don't get these certain things, I'm going to veto it. What is going on right now? Are you involved in any of these talks?
Look, I'm a member of the Senate caucus, so I'm supporting Senate President Sweeney's budget. I hope that it gets when this budget gets passed, it will push everyone to a place to compromise and to start working together, and I think that's going to happen.
So, are you in the camp that says we don't need new taxes?
Yeah, I don't support any. I want to start seeing the state start doing some cutting. You know, I've talked a lot about consolidation, but I want to see the state start talking about more cuts, and I haven't really seen that from anybody yet. And that's what I've been pushing in the caucus.
Well, I know legalized sports betting is now a thing in New Jersey. It's official. After the Supreme Court ruling, I know you're a big proponent of legalized sports betting. Is that cooked into the books already for the budget? Are they assuming that so much money is going to come from that?
Yeah, conservative numbers. Numbers of taxation have been anywhere from 10 to 25 million, but I think both the governor's budget and the legislature's budget have booked it very conservatively.
That's extremely conservative, because when I've been at Monmouth Park a couple of times and I talked to Dennis Drazen, he claims you're going to get $100 million.
Yeah, it's important. I think it's important to be conservative in any of these things, because you're projecting, and if there's extra revenue, that's wonderful.
So I want to step back for a second. There's some other issues I want to talk to you about, but I just want to step back for a second, because you're a new senator, but you've been involved with Democratic politics for a long time, successfully. So you knew all the players going into it. What are some of the surprises to you being in the Senate?
Surprises, I mean, look, I think that folks are surprised that Democrats have legitimate policy differences with Democrats, because I think everybody was used to 8 years of watching Chris Christie control a Republican legislature. You know, you would say jump and they would say how high. That's not the case here. I have disagreements with the Senate president, I have disagreements with the governor, they have disagreements with each other, they have disagreements with the speaker, and they're all policy disagreements. It's not personal, it's legitimately, we all want to get to the same place, and that's totally healthy for a functioning democracy. What people are frustrated at the national level is when they see one party rule and everybody is just rubber stamping what the party bosses say. That's not the case here in New Jersey.
It's healthy when a new governor gets elected, runs on a platform, gets in, and his platform is blocked by someone who won't even put it up for a vote? That's healthy?
I don't think that it's being blocked. I think that the legislature is an equal branch of government to the governor's office. There's no branch that is stronger than the other, and legislature has just as important voice as the governor's office, and everyone's got to work together on a compromise budget.
You mentioned when you were talking about Senator Sweeney, Senate President Sweeney, that you have some policy differences with him. What are they?
I'd like to see the Senate leadership focus more on cutting and start looking towards consolidation, shared services, things like this. As of now, and it's only been 5 months, I haven't seen that big focus yet, but I believe we will see it in the upcoming months. You know, I've had assurances from leadership in both houses that we're going to start talking about how to make New Jersey more affordable. Monmouth County has the 11th highest property taxes in the entire country. We have 600 school districts, hundreds of housing authorities and agencies. And I want to see this become the focal point of how we're going to make the state more affordable. And I'm very hopeful after this budget that the Senate and Assembly leadership will begin on this.
I will say you've been pushing consolidation for some time. Even when you were running for office, you were pushing for consolidation across the state. And for some people that don't know exactly what you're talking about, how would that work?
Sure.
How would you like to see it work?
Sure. So we have 600 school districts. I believe that a simple concept is that a high school should be in every school district. We should look through attrition and other programs how we can eliminate the costs. When we have healthcare brokers and engineers, architects, so much costs in schools at the top, a lot of fat. It really hurts. So there's a school district outside of my district, Lake Como, that has a superintendent who's a consultant, a 9-member elected school board, an administration building, and they have 0 schools in their school system. So we have so much government waste that New Jersey's unhealthy addiction to home rule has really been leading this. And I think it's important that we start having this discussion. And I am hopeful, by the way. I've had conversations with the leadership, and they want to get by this budget, but I want to at least start the conversation. 600 school districts.
Have you run some figures on this? How much money would it save?
A lot of independent studies have shown from Fairleigh Dickinson and Rutgers that the state can save hundreds of millions of dollars all through simple things, just like merging waste management contracts, looking at healthcare contracts between a town and a school board. There are so many potential cost savings, and we can do it through attrition where we respect people. But when we have 600 school districts and you go through 5 towns and they have all these districts and K-8 and a superintendent, 2 assistant superintendents, these are all additional added costs. Jersey City recently merged their parking authority utility with their police department, saved over $5 million in their budget. There are real savings here.
And you don't believe, you're saying that you're disappointed this hasn't been approached yet. You don't believe that it is the impasse right now in Trenton that's blocking this type of initiative?
They have to get their budget done. I understand that. I've been there for 5 months, and a lot of these legislators have been fighting for years for different things. And I'm hopeful that after this budget, we're gonna have this conversation, because I think it's a very important conversation to have.
You're hopeful of that. Have you any indication that that's going to happen?
I intend to have the conversation. I hope others will join me.
All right. When we come back, I want to talk to you about some local issues, especially smoking on the beaches of New Jersey, when we continue our conversation with Senator Vin Gopal when Jersey Matters continues.